Thank you for listening to English with Monty. For bonus episodes, to test your English grammar, book a free 30-minute trial lesson, or to access our conversation group in London, go to linktree/English with Monty. linktr.ee/English with Monty. Today we're talking about phrases and vocabulary you can use on a trip to London. Hello there and welcome to English with Monty. We're moving on to episode number 67 and I've got Gideon here. Hi Gideon, how are you doing?
Hi John, fine.
You're sounding really chirpy today. What happened?
No, I'm just happy to be speaking with you.
Wow.
And your lovely listeners.
You're welcome as always, and it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. This episode could be quite close to your heart because we're going to do it about vocabulary, so useful vocabulary, idioms, expressions, or vocabulary in general about taking a trip to London.
Really? I'm going to London this afternoon.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
I can use the vocabulary expressions.
Yes, you can. Exactly. Yeah. Just in case you need a refresher. In Paris, maybe some of these phrases might have fallen out of your head, just in case you've forgotten them.
Let's see. Yeah, I do live in Paris, but I do come regularly to London.
Yeah.
Including today.
So you'll get to see lots of Parisians or French people coming to London, and they're the kind of people that we're potentially targeting this at, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. I hope they're listening.
Me too. They've spotted you on the train and there's, oh, that guy's famous, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start off maybe with transport vocabulary. We already had a bit of a chat about this one, and you don't think it's that relevant anymore? I think it is. It's an Oyster card.
No, maybe it is. No, it's just that nowadays you can, what do they call it? Touch in, touch out in London. Where you correct. Can use your credit card. So I just use a credit card. I don't bother with the Oyster card anymore. It's the same price. Oyster card is something else you have to carry. I don't need it.
That's the nice thing about it, isn't it? That you can use a normal credit card. One of the reasons why I use my Oyster card is because it has a third off-peak travel.
Okay. Isn't it always a third off?
Just for off-peak.
Yeah, but isn't it always, even if you use a credit card, a third off-peak travel?
No, it shouldn't be.
I pay less after 9:30 a.m.
Oh, yeah, but I get a third off the off-peak price, if that makes sense.
Well, I have to investigate.
That's the reason why I use my Oyster card. So I touch in and touch out with that, and then I get extra discount. It's quite cheap for me to travel around London.
Okay.
Which is nice. We have off-peak and peak. So what do they mean? We've mentioned, obviously, those very quickly. What does off-peak and
peak? So
peak
is during the rush hour, isn't it?
What's the rush hour?
Period in the morning and in the afternoon where people commute to work, back from work. So I think the morning it's 7:30 to 9:30. Is that right in London?
That sounds about right, yeah.
I think it's like in the evening, it's 4:30 to 7. I'm not sure exactly. But during those times, you pay more for transport.
You do, don't you? That's probably something, especially if you're coming over as a tourist, is to try and avoid those times, isn't it? If you want to save a bit of money. But I guess the buses, I don't think the buses are more expensive, are they? Do they have?
I think it's a tube. You better check.
That's the other one. I suppose we say tube, don't we?
Oh, yes, the tube.
The tube. Why do we say the tube?
Because it is a tube. Okay. Exactly. The London Underground is the more formal term, but most people will say the tube.
They do, don't they? Yeah, it's the shape of a tube, isn't it? If everybody knows what a tube is. It's if you had something plastic that you could put water through, that would be a tube, wouldn't it? Or pipe, something like that. And I guess in American English, they would call it a subway, wouldn't they?
Not necessarily.
No?
No, Washington, it's a metro, isn't it?
Ah, okay, that's interesting.
New York is a subway. I think it always depends on the city, doesn't it? Even in the UK, I think, is it the Glasgow Metro? One of them is a metro. Somewhere's a metro.
You might be right, yeah.
So I think it's city-based. But subway, it is a false friend because subway in British English usually means a walkway underground, isn't it?
That's right.
But it's a busy road. So you take the subway to go to the other side of the road.
Yeah.
That's what we call a subway.
And also it's a sandwich shop, isn't it?
Yeah, with a capital S. Yes.
But we probably shouldn't advertise that fact. It's an American sandwich shop, isn't it?
I don't frequent it.
There's a very famous subway, isn't it? Is it the Joe Cocker? No, it's not Joe Cocker, is it? But anyway, I can't remember the name of the subway, so it's not going to be a very good story.
Okay.
Joe Strummer, is it? Strummer? Is that it?
What about Joe Strummer?
There's a Joe Strummer subway.
Is there?
Yeah, there is.
Where?
I think it is, if my memory serves me correctly, it's around about Edgware Road, that kind of area.
Okay.
I'm pretty
What's
sure.
the connection with Joe Strummer?
I think he used to busk there.
Oh, is that right?
I think that is the reason
Joe
why.
Strummer is the lead singer of The Clash, for those who don't know. They are a wonderful group from the post-punk or even punk era, but they were more sort of post-punk, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. It was like London Calling, wasn't it? Biggest track.
They are some great songs. Should I Stay or Should I Go? Maybe they know that one.
Oh, yeah. That's a good song, isn't it? Are you going to sing it?
No,
okay.
Not today.
Yeah, we've done Oyster Card, we've done The Tube, Off Peak Hours, and Mind the Gap. Everybody knows Mind the Gap.
Mind the Gap.
That's an easy one, isn't it?
I heard an interesting story about Mind the Gap recently.
Okay.
I want to share with you. By the way, if you don't know Mind the Gap, it's when you get off the train and there's a big space. They don't want you to fall down under the train, so they say mind the gap. But the story I came across recently is that they needed to record announcements. I think it's in the 1970s. They needed to record announcements on the London Underground stations where they had a gap. So they hired an actor. They hired an actor to record Mind the Gap. But then he insisted on royalties, that every time they played Mind the Gap, he would get, I don't know, a few pennies. So they said, no, we can't pay you royalties. So the guy at the station recorded it, or someone connected to London Transport. So he wasn't a professional, and he recorded Mind the Gap. There you are.
Wow.
You still hear it at Embankment Station, the old-fashioned Mind the Gap aggressive voice. He's familiar and sort of warm-hearted voice he has, but a bit aggressive. But Londoners love that sound, Mind the Gap.
They do, don't they?
It's one of those things that remind you of home, jellied eels and warm beer, whatever.
Which you frequently
drink, which I don't.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Things that remind you of home. Because in other cities, it's like, would you please mind the gap between the train and the platform when getting off? Do take care. And so even in Paris, when they say it in English, it's in French and then it's in English. That's what they say.
Oh, do they?
In London, yeah. Mind the gap.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because obviously we're British people stereotypically are known for our politeness, aren't we? It's curious that something like that is not very polite, is it?
I think in a way it's a good thing because we're talking about avoiding danger, avoiding somebody falling down a train. And in those situations, if you don't say house is on fire, we don't say, excuse me, apologies for interrupting you, but can I just say that the house is on fire and it's probably a good thing that we should leave now. No, that situation doesn't call for politeness. So it says, fire, get out. And that's what they've done. Mind the gap. You're in danger. Mind the gap. That's the way to go.
But there are definitely some jokes about that, aren't they, to suggest that we're overly polite, that we might do things like that. But it's not true, is it?
Overly polite?
Yeah, in those kind of situations, it's a bit of a joke, isn't it?
It's a bit exaggerated.
No, very much so.
Cliche. It's cliche. Too many cliches.
Yeah,
it's raining all the time. We love queuing up. English food, blah, blah, blah. You hear them every day.
That's very true. So, yeah, obviously it's the space between the platform and the train, isn't it? And one of my friends from the conversation group, it's a Romanian couple. I hope she won't mind me mentioning this, but she dropped her phone in the gap. Oh. She was very embarrassed and shamed, but they stopped the whole service for her and they got her phone back.
Really?
So that's why the central line was delayed that day.
Wow.
But she was very impressed, but she was also very ashamed and embarrassed at the same time.
I guess it wasn't very long, though. It must have been just a few seconds they stopped it for.
I suppose so, yeah. And I think they had a special device because it obviously happens relatively frequently. It's a curious one, isn't it? Because I guess it's a safety concern, isn't it? So they can't really leave it on the tracks, but also it's going to disrupt the service, isn't it, in some way? She was most impressed that they did that. She was expecting it just to be gone.
Okay. Wow. Can I tell you, it reminds me of a story?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Many years ago, I was on the Underground, on the tube, and this woman, this tourist, she was daydreaming, and she missed her stop, and the doors closed. And she was a bit frustrated. Just, oh no, I missed. And she wasn't that bothered. She was a bit annoyed. But the guy next to her, didn't know her, just a stranger, wanted to help. So he pulled the emergency cord. So the train came to a halt and everything stopped. Everyone said, "Why do you pull the emergency cord?" He goes, "Well, she missed her stop." Because you can't pull it for that reason. It's not an emergency.
Oh my God.
And the driver had to come through. And usually there's a fine. I think it's some kind of fine that if you pull it. But the whole train had to be stopped and the driver had to come through and see what was happening. That guy stopped everyone from getting to work that day.
Trying to do a good deed there. But obviously, if you're a Londoner or you live in London, you know that she can just get off at the next station and just come back again, right?
Well, yeah, he may have helped one person, but disrupted hundreds of others, not in just the train he was in, but all the others that were followed that were stuck in the tunnel.
That's an interesting story, yeah. Well, I suppose we'll continue a little bit on travel. We've spoken about commute because commute would just be if you go to work or school, isn't it, really, or university? Yeah. It's from home to that place, isn't it? That's what we would say for commute.
Yes, there's a verb and a noun as well. My commute, to commute every day.
Exactly, yeah. What about the other words here? We've got pedestrianized, bustling, or scenic. How useful do you think any of those are?
It depends if you're in a pedestrianized place. That's just where there's no cars, isn't it? It's just for people walking. Cars aren't allowed.
So here it talks about Covent Garden. Covent Garden is now pedestrianized, isn't it? I guess in the past, probably quite a long time ago, it wasn't pedestrianized. There is also a plan, I don't know if you've ever heard about it, but it's been going on for a while now, to pedestrianize Oxford Street.
And they've been talking about that for 30 years. It seems logical, obvious that they should pedestrianize it, but I know some of the local traders don't like the idea.
I read an article this morning that says apparently the mayor has more power now. So that's the idea that he can hopefully push it through. Apparently, it's supposed to happen between Oxford Circus and Marble Arch. And
okay. Completely logical.
Yeah.
They should do that. In London, that's the main shopping street, but relatively narrow, the street itself. Lots of people can end up in the road and with a bus coming along. It seems really logical that it should be pedestrianised.
Yeah, definitely. And how many people do you think go there a day?
Oxford Street?
Yeah.
No idea. 200,000? No idea.
500,000 apparently. 500,000 people a day. That's interesting, isn't it? It's a lot of people.
I tend to avoid Oxford Street, actually. I mean, as a Londoner, I go to Covent Garden. I like Covent Garden, but I tend to avoid Oxford Street. If it's pedestrianised, that would change things. I find it quite unpleasant walking along Oxford Street. And the other place I try to avoid is Leicester Square.
You could describe both of those areas as bustling, couldn't you?
Yes, you could, but lots of areas of London are bustling, but some are bustling in a more positive way.
Bustling is normally positive, isn't it? I guess the idea of somewhere being full of activity and noise, isn't it?
Okay.
I suppose if you were going to say it in a negative way,
overcrowded.
Overcrowded, yeah. Bustling is really used positively, isn't it?
Yes, it's used positively, yes. Agreed.
Okay. And I suppose scenic, you describe maybe taking a walk by the Thames. That's pretty scenic, isn't it? By the river, as in it's very beautiful view. You can see the Houses of Parliament and Tower Bridge. So it's very lovely, isn't it?
Absolutely. Lots of scenic routes in London. You go through the parks, a lot of the streets, the beautiful architecture and gardens.
Plenty of landmarks, aren't they? You could say Tower Bridge is a landmark. The London Eye as well, that's a landmark, isn't it? That you can see by the river.
Oh, yeah, sort of important place. It's a landmark, something well known in the city, Big Ben.
What is Big Ben? Tell everybody what Big Ben is.
Well, actually, okay, you caught me out there because Big Ben is actually the bell. You can't see Big Ben. It's actually the bell inside the tower of the clock tower.
Yes, that's correct, isn't it?
But no one says, "Oh, look, the Tower of Westminster." Not many people say that, though.
It's not the Tower
Even
of
Londoners
Westminster.
don't say that.
It's not the Tower of Westminster, though, is it? It's the Elizabeth Tower.
Is it?
Yes.
Since when?
It's always been the Elizabeth Tower.
Well, even before Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Victoria Tower.
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, maybe it changed name, but it's definitely called the Elizabeth Tower. You thought it was the Westminster Tower.
Well, we can Google it. While you're doing that, I do want to mention that London Bridge is not what people think it is.
That's true.
People get confused between London Bridge and Tower Bridge. That sort of bridge which rises and lets the big boats through and has these kind of towers on it. Either side is Tower Bridge. It's not London Bridge. And that's the famous bridge over London, because actually London Bridge, it's very boring. Built in the 1970s, it's a very boring bridge. And that's because it replaced an earlier bridge, which replaced an earlier bridge, which replaced an earlier bridge, going back to Roman times, because that was actually a Roman bridge there. And famous London Bridge, if you look at old pictures, there are like houses on it, houses and buildings all along the bridge. Some wonderful paintings you can see of old London Bridge.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? And then London Bridge was sold, wasn't it? And it's in the United States now.
In Arizona, I think. Is it Arizona? Yeah. That was, I don't know when that was, 18th century or something, that bridge. As I said, there'd be many bridges along London Bridge. Again, we have to check that out. That was sold and now it's in Arizona. I think it's a little bit sad. The most famous point, or why London exists in the first place, because it was a harbour with a bridge, Roman Londinium, London Bridge. It's just a boring 1970s ugly bridge. I think they should do something about that.
I agree, yeah. So maybe we need to start a petition.
And, yeah, I'll go on to London Bridge and take a petition.
I think this is an interesting one. This is a thing, I'm sure you'll agree with me, that a lot of students get wrong. A lot of students would say touristic, but it's actually wrong, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. I hear that all the time, touristic.
We say touristy with the Y, don't we?
Exactly, it's touristy, yeah.
It's a very touristy area. So Leicester Square is a very touristy area, as in it's full of tourists.
Exactly.
I like this expression, off the beaten track. What does off the beaten track mean?
It means away from the crowds. Probably if you're talking about London, you probably mean the places where the tourists don't go so much. Could be a lot of people, but not many tourists. If you're in front of Buckingham Palace or Piccadilly Circus, you're not off the beaten track. But if you go to, I don't know, Mile End, maybe, it's quite close to the centre, but it's a little bit off the beaten track.
It's not a tourist destination, is it? And that's what it means. Yeah. I suppose the idea of a beaten track is people beat it with their feet, don't they? So they're beating the ground with their feet. I suppose in the countryside, you'd see a definite pathway, wouldn't you? And that's the beaten track. And then if you go into the middle of a field, then that's off the beaten track.
Have a slightly different meaning if you're talking about a touristy city or the countryside. Off the beaten track will probably not frequented by tourists, I would say.
Yeah. Iconic. I think this is quite an interesting word. I guess this is quite a nice word because it's talking about double-decker buses are iconic in London.
They are iconic buses. Definitely things you instantly recognize. They're sort of famous, even like a symbol of the city. That's a good example of the double-decker bus.
Well, they're red, aren't they? So I guess obviously you have the double-decker bus, meaning 2 floors of a bus. And then, of course, you have the post boxes, which are red, and the telephone boxes.
The post boxes necessarily from London, but yes.
That's true, isn't it? I guess it's only the buses that are iconic in that respect, because obviously you'd find red telephone boxes and post boxes outside of London. I guess with the red telephone boxes, that's more of a London thing nowadays, isn't it? Outside of London, they've mostly been removed.
No one uses them as telephone boxes. Some of them become businesses. There was one that's been converted into a cafe. Yeah, you think it's pretty small. Yeah, they've got a little coffee machine there and a chair outside.
Oh, wow.
Where was that? I can't remember where that was. And another one was a phone repair business. There's a guy there and he handles all the equipment for repairing phones inside. Yeah, they've become businesses, some of them. Yeah, wow. You rent the space.
I've not seen it like that. I've seen them used as a book exchange. That's quite frequently seen, isn't it? Yeah, where you put your old books in there, and then if you want one, you just open the door and take one. Didn't know they had them for businesses as well.
And they're easy to lock up in the evening and to keep clean. So, yeah, you have your stuff inside. You open it in the morning, lock up in the evening, and then that's it. And it's quite cool. Got a few in London. I see another one. I'll take a picture.
I think you should. That seems like an Instagram moment. We'll move on now to communication and social interactions when you're coming to London. Queue up, line up for something. This is very British. Is that true?
No, it's not really. I've been to places where they do in France on Sunday morning when Many of the bakeries are closed. You'll go and you'll see an orderly queue in front of the bakery. I don't think British people are particularly good at queuing. Maybe some other places are worse at queuing, I don't know. But I don't think it's just British, the only people who queue. That's ridiculous.
No.
That's a stupid cliche, if you ask me.
Definitely.
The only people that queue up are the British.
And why do we say queue up rather than queue? Is there a reason for that?
Yes, there is. That's all to do with register. We made a video, you and I, John, about register.
We did indeed, yeah.
Makes it sound a little bit informal. So think of to meet and to meet up. You'd say with your friends, hey, let's meet up. But you'll say with, I don't know, the business acquaintance, we should meet to discuss the project. So sometimes adding this preposition up at the end makes it a bit more informal. So you have to queue up over there. But if you have to queue, that's why I say it's about register, because if you take away up, it still works. We queued for half an hour to get into the museum.
That's it. As you say, it just makes it a bit more informal, doesn't it? A bit more friendly if you say queue up.
Yeah.
To strike up a conversation. Wonder how many people practicing their English always think about that. It's a good thing to do if you can, isn't it? Striking up a conversation.
Nowadays, you walk around and people have got like earphones and they're staring at their phone. More difficult these days. So to strike up a conversation. In the old days, I sound like an old man now. In the old days, you could usually just go out and strike up a conversation with somebody in the street. But now, go to the pub, you'll always end up chatting with somebody.
Well, striking up a conversation, it's starting to talk to somebody you don't know, isn't it? It's always easy in a pub, isn't it? If you find it difficult in the street, I guess at a bus stop, particularly if it's somebody a bit more elderly, they'd definitely talk about the weather with you, wouldn't they?
Hello, dear. Where are you going?
There you go.
I'm going to the post office. They've got some lovely stamps there.
They cost £1 million nowadays, though. Did you know that?
Sorry, that was my probably politically incorrect impression of a old lady at a London bus stop.
That's often the case, isn't it? Maybe more elderly people would strike up a conversation with you. But anytime you want to strike up a conversation with a British person, definitely go to a pub. That is one of the best places to do it, isn't it? People are so open to speaking, aren't they, in pubs?
Yeah, definitely. If we had another 2 hours, I could name all my favourite pubs in London. Probably most of them are closed down. I heard that 50% of the pubs in London have closed down the last, 40 years or something.
Is it that much?
Huge number have closed down.
Yeah, I never really noticed that in the centre, because in the centre it's still full of pubs. I imagine you're right. I think the interesting thing about pubs in London is that they're always very traditional, aren't they? And when they refurbish them in a traditional way, which I really like. Whereas up where I'm from in the Midlands, they won't refurbish them in a traditional way.
Okay.
The next one, well, inquire about. I don't know, is that a good expression? Guess it's asking for information, isn't it?
Inquired got an example that you sent me, John. I inquired about theatre tickets at the box office. Okay, fair enough.
It's quite useful, isn't it, in certain situations like that? Specific formal information, I suppose. I inquired about the tour to Bath or something like that. Common idioms and phrases: catch the tube. So we've spoken about the tube, so this is take the underground train, it says here, which is correct. It's not my cup of tea. I think a lot of people would have heard this expression, but it's quite a nice expression, isn't it?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Not my thing, not something that appeals to me.
Yeah, so maybe eating jelly deals is not my cup of tea.
No. Jelly deals, if you don't know, is supposedly a typical London food, because you don't have many London foods, but one of them is famous jellied eels. The eels used to come out of the Thames. They probably still do, I don't know. And then they used to sort of sell them in the East End. We'll get them in a few places. I've never tried them. They look disgusting.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried one either. They do look disgusting, you're right. And I guess the jelly is to preserve them in some way,
I guess so. Apparently, they're a favourite of David Beckham, who is from East London.
Is he from East London or Essex?
No, it's East London. I think Leytonstone.
Oh, is he? I didn't realise that.
The other London food, I think, is pie and mash. I think it's more London as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that is very London, isn't it? We got a pie and mash store in Folkestone, actually. It does go other places. It is very London. I think I should probably take my students to a pie and mash shop. I think it's a good thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
In a bit of a jam. It says stuck in traffic here, but you wouldn't say that really, would you? Is this a good phrase? A bit of a jam? I guess you're in a tricky situation, aren't you, if you're in a bit of a jam?
I guess so. I don't think it's particularly London.
It's not, is it?
I don't know where you get these lists from, John.
Run like clockwork. You could say the trains run like clockwork means they're very well organized. Do they? Maybe sometimes. They're normally pretty good, aren't they? This one's definitely London, isn't it? Have a butcher's.
It was London. I think now people understand everywhere in Britain. It's one of those London phrases that have got known elsewhere. So yeah, butchers means to have a look, and it comes from rhyming slang, butcher's hook, look. So let's have a look. Let's have a butcher's.
Yeah, that's correct. There's plenty of Cockney rhyming slang. I guess we've spoken about it before, haven't we, in other episodes? But the idea is that the word that you use within it rhymes with something else, doesn't it? In this case, have a butcher's, and then you're adding on the word hook at the end, and then it means have a look. The most common one is apples and pears.
Yeah, but no one says that.
No, that's
no
true.
one has ever said that. That's the one. It's always in the dictionary. Apples and pears, stairs. Never ever heard that being used seriously. Have you?
Well, perhaps not.
Being a Londoner, I've heard a lot of Cockney rhyming slang that people have used it, but I've never ever said, I'm just going up the apple and pears to get my curlers. I've never heard that.
No, maybe not.
True. It's like one of these things like saying, oh, it's raining cats and dogs. It's one of those things which is in all the dictionaries. Maybe somewhere people use raining cats and dogs, but I don't think in England we use that at all. Less so.
That's very true. There are plenty, aren't there, of Cockney rhyming slang. The idea is to just rhyme with one of the words, isn't it? That's why.
Nobody says apples and pears. I tell you. Butcher's hook, you do.
You say have a butcher's, wouldn't you? Or you've got a nice Barnet. I like that one. I think that's a good one.
Nice Barnet. Yeah, I like that one because I was born in Barnet.
There you go. And it's true of you. It's very true of you.
Thank you.
You do have
and
a
nice Barnet. If you want to know the history of Barnet, why we say a nice Barnet, it's interesting because Barnet Fair, and there used to be a horse fair in Barnet that went back to the Middle Ages. There's a horse fair in Barnet. It's not anymore. There's a famous horse fair. You've got a nice Barnet because you've got a nice haircut.
Something that nobody's ever said to me.
Okay, we don't have video on this.
That's true, yeah. But I guess most
blessing in disguise.
Well, this is it. I wake up and my hair's perfect. I bet that doesn't happen to your Barnet, does it? I bet it's all over the place in the morning.
Takes me hours to make it look respectable.
Yeah, it looks amazing now, though, doesn't it?
Okay.
Okay, so cultural vocabulary. Are they interesting? Heritage. I don't know. Is that an interesting thing to talk about? Tradition that's passed on through the generations. London is rich in history and cultural heritage. Probably a lot of people know that.
Very specific to London.
It's not, is it? Maybe gentrification is. What's gentrification?
Definitely. Wouldn't say specific to London. I think most cities go through some periods of gentrification. Place becomes like richer and more expensive.
But that's it, isn't it? It's an area that improves. I guess London, it's connected with London because you've got areas that, particularly maybe in the East End, that are well connected.
If we could talk about this for the next hour, but it's not necessarily an improvement. There are elements of improvement if like crime goes down and things like that. But you look at some parts of London, if it's getting richer and more middle class, okay, fair enough. But there are parts of London where people buy houses, but they don't live there and they don't use the local commerce. I'm thinking of like even in Kensington and Chelsea, where there used to be like vibrant communities and local shops and local businesses, but people who live there, they're not everyone, of course, but they're super rich and they don't go out. They don't step outside and go to the local restaurant or pub. They just go there to park their Tesla or Rolls Royce.
Teslas are a bit contentious. You can't mention those nowadays.
So we can spend a whole episode talking the gentrification of London. Even here in Paris, sometimes there's gentrification where there's lots of good elements, but you just see a street which just has Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and shops like that on the street. If you want to get some bread or buy a toothbrush, you can't, unless it's a Louis Vuitton toothbrush for 4,000 euros.
Is that how much they are nowadays?
I don't know. I've just made that up. I don't know how much a Louis Vuitton toothbrush is.
It's probably been a while since you bought one of those, though, isn't it? The next one is eclectic. Again, it's not really London, is it, necessarily? But I guess it's quite a good example, isn't it? Camden Market has an eclectic mix.
List. Couldn't you just made your own list?
Well,
thought about it and gone, oh, you know what? I go to London. I think these words would be good.
Well, you're
Why do you need
right.
to take it off the internet?
You're right.
We're feeling a bit lazy this morning.
I definitely was. Maybe I should have had a caffeinated coffee instead of a decaffeinated one. Maybe that would have helped me.
Why would anyone have decaffeinated coffee?
I'm one of those people.
Fair enough. Okay. Whatever.
Anyway, let's move on then. Okay, these expressions are quite interesting. Pub grub, I like that. It's not necessarily particularly London, but pub grub is food, traditional food served in a pub, isn't it? So things like fish and chips, of course.
I wouldn't get fish and chips from a pub, though, really. You need a proper fryer. I don't eat fish. I'm vegetarian now. But you need a proper fryer, so I would avoid fish and chips in a pub. Best places to get fish and chips, even though I don't eat it anymore, like the chips, is from one that has the equipment.
That is true, isn't it?
Am I right?
You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's true.
Maybe it's an exception. I'm an English teacher. I'm not a restaurateur. I think generally speaking, but maybe you can correct me.
I would say that's true. I suppose in London, I would argue as well, it's not absolutely wonderful fish and chips. You can find some very good places, but I guess typically it's much better up north. That's traditionally where fish and chips is excellent. Yeah, somewhere like Yorkshire. Yorkshire is amazing for fish and chips. It's so much better than anywhere in the south.
They use dripping.
I don't know.
I lived in Yorkshire.
Oh,
I lived in Leeds. Yeah.
Oh, of course you did. But you must say that the fish and chips is much better up there. It is, isn't it?
I don't know, because I couldn't have it. Because I used to eat fish, but not meat. But they fry it in dripping. It's very regional. In London, they fry it in oil. I don't know. You probably have more expertise in this. Yeah. I know there used to be a few good places in London that I went to, but maybe you have more about this than I do.
It used to be Harry Ramsden's, which was the
biggest one in the world. It's funny because I lived in Leeds. So there's Harry Ramsden, the biggest fish and chip shop in the world. Okay, fair enough. But most of the world don't do fish and chips. And if they do, it's not a restaurant dedicated to this one thing.
That's true.
It's like saying you go to East London and say, this is the biggest jelly deal shop in the world. But you only sell it in like 300 square meters from this point. You're damning it with faint praise.
But I've been there, and back in the day, honestly, it was amazing. It was very good. Nowadays, it doesn't exist. I think it does exist, but it was bought out, wasn't the name was bought out, and then they had little franchises everywhere, and I don't.
Yeah, I saw one at an airport, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Fair enough. I bow to your superior knowledge. You know more about this than I do.
Well, it was just from childhood days, really. Maybe it's a bit different now, but I doubt it.
Is that where the family went for summer holidays from the Midlands to Leeds to get some fish and chips?
My mum's from Yorkshire, so
okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's true. We did. We used to go places up north. Nice. There's definitely some very fond memories of having fish and chips in like newspaper.
Okay, nice. Do you know where I used to go on holiday as a kid?
Southend.
Close. Bournemouth.
It's not that close, is it?
And I did once go, I think we went on a day trip to Southend once, but Bournemouth. The kids today, they go on holiday to Chile or...
Who goes on holiday to
Thailand?
Chile?
But people go abroad a lot. When I was a kid, I didn't go abroad.
It's curious, isn't it? But also, seaside resorts are having a bit of a renaissance now, aren't they?
You should know. You live in one.
There you go. It is having a renaissance, most definitely. Folkestone is changing and has changed a lot over the years. And it's a very popular destination. Lots of people come here.
I think this might have also something to do with the way we work now, sort of digital nomads and all that type of thing, that if you don't have to work in a big city and commute every day, then why not live by the sea or something like that and work online? Well, that's something that you've done, John, to a certain extent.
I very much have done. Without working online, I wouldn't be able to be here. And it's within spitting distance, within a fairly short journey of London by train. So just under an hour. So I'm in London every Friday. I can have the best of both worlds, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's very appealing. If you're in London, London's great. I'm from London. But if you have to commute 2 hours each day, 1 hour in, 1 hour out, it soon gets tiring. If you live in the suburbs, you do that commute every day or 5 days a week. So certainly just visit it from time to time and live by the sea. It's a nice idea.
And I love it. It's great. Here it's got full English breakfast. I would say it is quite a London thing, isn't it? Having a full English breakfast.
Is it?
Wouldn't
okay.
you?
I don't know. I'm from London.
And you've never heard that?
Is it more of a London thing? Is it?
I would say so, yes. Okay. I don't know, at least in my experience, we do obviously have them in the Midlands. I would say that full English is a bit more of a London thing. So obviously that's traditional English breakfast is like bacon, eggs, sausage, beans, mushrooms, and tomatoes, isn't it? And nowadays they do wonderful
and a heart attack.
And a heart attack, exactly. And nowadays they do wonderful vegetarian breakfast, don't they? On the same idea, really.
That's true.
Do you ever have that?
I do. I should say that they say breakfast. It should be breakfast in inverted commas because you can get an English breakfast at any time of the day.
That's true.
They say it's traditionally at breakfast, but in my experience, not necessarily. You might get breakfast for lunch, if that makes any sense at all.
Or often for brunch, isn't it? I remember in my younger days, you'd maybe have it after you'd been out drinking with your friends the night before, and it'd be like 11:30 or something like that.
Exactly. It's just what you need.
Yeah, you got a hangover.
Exactly.
If there's any other things here, I don't know, street food in Borough Market, Camden. I think that's self-explanatory, isn't it? Fancy a cuppa. Is that from London? But it's quite a nice phrase, isn't it?
A cuppa. A cuppa means cup of tea.
It does, doesn't it?
Fancy means would you like?
It does, doesn't it? It can also mean to be attracted to somebody, can't it? So it's like, I fancy Scarlett Johansson, as in I find her very attractive.
Exactly, yes.
Or I fancy some chocolate means that, I really want some chocolate. These ones describing your experiences you had in London. Overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed by the size of the Natural History Museum.
Were you?
Apparently. It's like something's too much to handle.
Why is it too much to handle? What Brontosaurus in the entrance? Is that just, need to lie down now? I've seen a Brontosaurus. Totally traumatized.
So I suppose overwhelmed, often it's a very emotional thing, isn't it? So yeah, I'm not sure if that's the best way of using it. You have a memorable experience. That's quite a good phrase. Seeing the crown jewels was truly a memorable experience. Clutching at straws here, aren't they? They're like trying to relate it to London. I guess they are quite useful phrases, aren't they? But not necessarily for London. Off-putting. So that's a good phrase, isn't it? I think we spoke about this in another short episode about something being unpleasant. The long queues were a bit off-putting.
Yeah, okay. So something which you don't want to do because it seems that it's going to be too unpleasant or time-consuming.
Yeah, that's right. Was there anything else you wanted to add? We could add a lot more, couldn't we? You are an original Londoner. I was a Londoner.
Born in Barnet. Born in the East End, though.
You were born in Hare. You're more authentic than I am. I was an adopted London.
I don't want to claim that. London is a lovely international city. Whatever. You get a pleasure from it. It is such a beautiful city. I just like walking around and looking at things for hours in London. I never get bored.
Especially this time of year, though, isn't it? I think London is really special when the days get longer, when it comes from spring into summer. I think it's lovely to be
parks, walk on Hampstead Heath.
Anything else you wanted to add, just as a final little nugget of wisdom?
I should just say to you, John, cheers, mate. I think that's what you would say in London, wouldn't you? A bit more between males, isn't it? Thank you very much, sir. No, you say cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Good little phrase, isn't it? Do you want to tell people about your stuff, what you're doing at the moment? Have you got any videos out?
Yeah, do check out Let Them Talk TV, my YouTube channel. It's fantastic and you'll enjoy it very much. Watch all the videos multiple times.
And get your mum to watch it as well.
Yeah.
And your pets. Because that way you can pay for Gideon's holiday to the Seychelles.
Yes, to Harry Ramsden, have maybe fish and chips at Harry Ramsden's.
There probably is a Harry Ramsden's in the Seychelles, isn't there, nowadays?
I have no idea.
Any latest videos?
Just released one about the golden age of Hollywood.
Wow.
If you like movies from the 1930s and 1940s, very good for learning your English.
Oh, wow.
Then check it out. It's wonderful. I give my top tips, my favorite movies of the era.
Is It's a Wonderful Life in there?
It could have been in there. It was very close. I only picked 6. Okay. Love It's a Wonderful Life. That was almost got in there. That is a masterpiece. It's a Wonderful Life. So if you haven't watched it, check it out. For
those people who really like classic films, that sounds as if it's going to be a real perler.
Yeah. It is. I won't say which films are in my top 6. You can check it out. About the transatlantic accent. There's a way of speaking if you listen to the American accents at that time, a lot of them had this accent, which is not British, it's not American, it's in between. It was known as the transatlantic accent. There was some debate about how much it existed at all and how much it was a sort of a native way of speaking and how much it was a learnt way. Anyway, I discussed that in video. Fascinating stuff.
When's it going to be out?
I released it.
Oh, you've released it.
So do you mean you haven't seen it yet, John?
No, I normally set my alarm clock for an hour after you release videos just to see them because I love them so much. Maybe my alarm clock's not working this time.
Well, if you're a fan of the golden age of Hollywood, then do check it out.
I will do. I think anything to do with film is very interesting, isn't it?
If you're learning English, it's often better to watch these older films. And the reason is style of filmmaking has changed. Nowadays, it's about realism. Like the conversations try to be real and gritty, but then it was more theatrical. So they were cleverer with language. Dialogues may have been less realistic, but they were much more theatrical and they were using maybe more complicated, richer language. And you can see that in some of the classics that I mentioned that wouldn't be made today.
That's good to know, though, isn't it? To be honest, it's not something I do very often, watch older films, but I have enjoyed it when I've done it. Maybe you've inspired me.
Check it out. Look at my top 6 and then share your own top 6 in the comments.
Yes, I will do. Thanks for coming on the show, Gideon. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Thanks for listening, listeners. You've been listening to English with Monty. Thanks for listening to English with Monty. For bonus episodes, sessions with the teacher, and discounts through our website, please sign up at patreon.com/English with Monty. Or you can join us for our English conversation group in London at meetup.com/Monty-English-conversation.